I'll level with you. When it came to the Champions League this year, I was viewing it as a free hit, knowing that we were going to be a 4th seeded club just to get in the top 3, to get Europa League football by finishing 3rd was going to be a tall order. And then I got the group stage draw come in, and suddenly I feel like there's a little bit of hope that we could do better than FC Copenhagen. I'm starting to believe that could be dangerous, especially because Real Madrid and Benfica are in our group. We are back here at Union Berlin for episode number 2 of Building Berlin, and if I just want to show you the Bundesliga table, which I don't really want to show you, but I kind of have to, after 5 games, we're in 15th. Yeah, in reality, I probably shouldn't be getting distracted by the Champions League, but here we are. And for today's episode, the very small matter of Benfica away, and away day fans rejoice. Benfica fans rejoice. We're hopping on a jet. We're going to Portugal today. Yes, folks, how is it going? Welcome back to Union Berlin. Before we get into things, a massive thank you for the support on episode number 1 of this series. Phenomenal to see so many of you guys excited and returning to the channel for a whole new series, which, well, as I already outlined, isn't really going to plan. Of course, yesterday we kicked off the series with a defeat against Eintracht Frankfurt, but away from home against Augsburg, I really thought we were going to be able to turn things around. We didn't turn things around. Now, to be fair, Augsburg are the team predicted to finish directly behind us in the media predictions, so when they scored within the first 2 minutes, I was a little bit annoyed. I wasn't going to panic too much. They then got a second, and then I was annoyed. I did start to panic, and then following on from this goal by Gumny, which was a ridiculous goal in truth, VAR, goal line technology, did confirm it did cross the line. We then had a sending off, and from the resulting free kick of that sending off, Felix Udekai scored. It was 3-0 at half-time. Down a man, we did manage to retrieve a little bit of pride. Plattenhardt coming on off the bench at left-back, put it into us, Datro Fofana, who we've got on loan from Chelsea. Good little header by him. And well, if we want to find a positive in what's been a rather disappointing start to the season, Datro Fofana's blooming good. I mean, at the moment, he's got 4 goals in 4 Bundesliga games, and as a result of that, he is now starting for us. Having lost against Augsburg, though, we were going into a much more winnable game here, and, well, we got off to a really good start. Fofana in this game getting both goals. That one there, first time finish, edge of the box, top bins, love to see it. What you don't love to see is Rono, our goalkeeper, doing whatever that was. I mean, it makes me angry just to look at it. When that went in, I did think, is it just going to be one of those games? Fortunately, it wasn't. Fofana, uncharacteristically getting on the end of a header. He's not really known for his aerial ability, but we're not going to complain. In this match here, against Darmstadt, we managed to get our first win. It was not convincing. After that, we drew 0-0 against Borussia Mönchengladbach. Not a bad result on the road. However, in our very next game against Red Bull Leipzig, or Rasenballspor Leipzig, because of course the RB doesn't stand for Red Bull, we lost 2-1. Respectable result, I think. Fofana with the goal for us. We were a goal down early on. Werner got a goal for them. And, well, against a team that are very good, we did fine. I feel like this is the kind of game that's not really going to define our season. This might be really defeatist of me. I don't feel like RB Leipzig are our opposition that we're battling against this year. If we get mid-table at this point, I will be happy. Safe to say the start of the season hasn't exactly been as I imagined it. And well, since you were last here, the transfer window has slammed shut. I have made 1 new addition to the squad who hasn't joined us yet, Maurice Krattenmacher. I hope I've said that correctly, Maurice. This guy, 18 years old, player with a little bit of potential, was playing for the German under-17s team. I noticed he was playing in the 3rd division of Germany, so we've snapped him up for peanuts. 1 player did leave us on deadline day, and that man is Sidi Sane. Of course, Leroy Sané's little brother joked last episode, I hope he's not injury prone like Leroy. He's gone out on loan, he's got injured immediately. He's fractured his toe. I'm hoping he's going to get some football in the Netherlands playing for RKC. Whether or not he can develop remains to be seen. Given the fact we have spent £1.5 million on him, would like to see him starting to play some football and hopefully not getting more injured. I'm scrambling for some positives. The Champions League has brought us in a load of money, £15 million just for making the group stage. Our balance looks rather pretty. On the flip side, an issue that we are having is we have 1 homegrown player at club in this Union Berlin squad. Of course, it's a team that have climbed up through the league quickly, doesn't have particularly good youth production. As a result of that, our 1 homegrown player is Lorenz Dell, who I did intend on selling, but then when I realised he was the only homegrown at club player, kind of realised I couldn't sell him. Because of that, we only are able to register a squad of 22 for the Champions League. You might notice, looking at the players at the top here, quite a lot of players not registered for the Champions League. Undav didn't make it. One player who didn't make it as well is Doki here. If I'm not mistaken, in real life, this guy was one of the best centre-backs in the Bundesliga. He will get a massive upgrade in FM24. Here and now, you can see him. He's not a Champions League quality centre-back, so that's why I've not registered him. I'm fully aware this guy is immense in real life. He's been done dirty in Football Manager. I think he might even be moving to Napoli soon in real life. I digress. It's not been the perfect, dreamy start to time here at Union Berlin, but that was somewhat to be expected. We knew this was going to be a tall order. The Champions League, whilst a bit of a distraction, is something I'd like to be at least respectable in. Like I mentioned already, this is a chance for us to maybe get into the Europa League. Of course, the new Champions League format that you've probably experienced in Football Manager has not kicked in yet. As a result, third place would get us a Europa League spot, and at this moment in time, I feel like that's perhaps as ambitious as we should be. Certainly this game against Benfica isn't one I'm looking at as winnable. I did have a couple of comments last episode talking about some first team players that they didn't see in my squad. Those players might have been Skarke and Pantovic. These are two guys who play for the team, and I'll be honest, they're just not good enough. I mean, in the case of Pantovic here, he just doesn't really fit our team at all. He's a good centre attacking mid, I suppose, but I kind of wanted to sell him and no one wanted him, and it's a similar story with Timmy Boy here. Timmy, great versatile player, not awful, but also just someone who I don't really want to have anywhere near the first team. And with our first team already being a little on the larger side, I've just demoted them, but I could not ship them on. They are kicking up a stink, and as you might have spotted here, there's lots of players unhappy with the treatment of Pantovic. Apparently people really like Pantovic in the dressing room. In fact, everyone is backing him up. No one likes me. We do need to be mindful of the hierarchy. We did lose some senior players during the summer transfer window, and on top of that, if you've played Football Manager, you know the deal. Morale manager. You want to keep players happy. You want to keep everyone on side. There's a few players unhappy because they weren't registered for the Champions League, maybe not happy with the form, which, let's be honest, it's been kind of crap. With that in mind, we need to make sure it doesn't spiral out of control. I feel like the next month or so is going to be rather important for that. Like I mentioned yesterday, away days aren't coming back for this series like we had for Parc de Prem. If you're sat thinking, what's an away day? You're about to find out. Let's go do one together. Today, we're heading to Benfica's ground, which is in Lisbon. It's in Lisbon. I panicked for a second thinking I was wrong. No, I know geography. I will concede now, if you were expecting me to hop on a plane and appear in vlog format in, well, Lisbon, you may be a little bit disappointed now. No, we're not heading to Lisbon. Well, we are, but kind of in a more holistic sense, because we're here on Google Maps to make the pilgrimage from Berlin to our first Champions League away day of hopefully many during our time here at Union Berlin. We are heading to the beautiful city of Lisbon. I'll add the asterisk there. Never been to Lisbon. It might be a I don't know. So for today's away day, we are at the Estadio do Sport Lisboa Benfica. That was a name that rolls off the tongue. Is it just me, or from above does this stadium look like Bolton Wanderers' ground? I hope that's not too offensive. Now, this is going to be a new experience for some of you, but we do have to review the car parking first and foremost. And I'll tell you now from above, it's a decent tier of car park here in Portugal. You have got a shopping centre across the road. I'm not sure this counts as part of the away day, but they have got a Taco Bell, so I might send the kitman there at halftime to go get me a Taco Bell. Whenever I see a stadium on a junction, and I say this every time, just makes me want to play City Skylines. I just want to load up SimCity 2000 and relive my childhood. Here is the stadium in all its glory. Very red, very Benfica, I suppose. It's almost as if Benfica play in red, Jack. First impressions, car park, not as impressive in person. They need to work on their tree game. These are pathetic excuses of car park trees. Some people thought they were here for a Football Manager video. Well, breaking news, we're here to look at whatever this thing is, draped in many, many Benfica scarves. Do we have any clues as to what it is? Eusebio. Wait, is this a statue of Eusebio? Is that really what this is? I love the fact it's like encased in a greenhouse. Is that because people used to climb? Who climbs on a statue of Eusebio? Oh, we can go for a walk around the stadium here. I'll be honest, she's not a looker from the outside, but maybe she's nicer on the inside. Oh, it's one of these ones. As soon as I see lines on the pitch, heart rate goes up a notch. We should bear in mind this footage is from 2014, so Benfica fans, please let me know if it's changed too much. I'm going to say now, it does just look like a bigger spray-painted version of Bolton's ground, which isn't the dig that I think people think it is. It's an impressive, pretty stadium. If I'm going to be particularly harsh, It lacks the character of a stadium, that's been built up over time. There's something that I hate in a weird way about stadiums where it's just the same on all sides. I feel like you need a quirky thing, something that makes it different. Sorry, I've gone to the side of the pitch here in 2022. They've just got eagles at the side of the pitch. Obviously they've got an eagle as their mascot. Do they have club eagles at Benfica? They get cool points for that. I'm currently clicking through stadium pictures hoping to find one of the atmosphere, because I know Portuguese fans in general, but particularly Benfica fans and Porto fans, known for being rather balmy. If there's any Benfica fans out there, please go to your stadium on a match day and take a 360 photo. You might get some weird looks, but you'll get a better away day score next time I visit. For some added cool points, because I couldn't find a stadium picture during matches, here it is in 3D on Google Earth. Technology is mental. Thoughts on this stadium? Stadium itself, impressive, big. I actually really like the red accents on the design of the stadium itself, and it does seem like there is actually quite a lot going on around the club, like a sports complex of some kind. You've got a beautiful AstroTurf pitch here, some good parking. As I said, disappointed by the trees, and his Sabio statue that was just encased in glass because I guess people climb on it. Stadium itself, big and impressive, but slightly soulless, at least without fans present. I feel like I should probably give the away day score after I'm out the country just so I can't be attacked by fans, but the Estadio do SL Benfica Stadium, beautiful stadium, big stadium, 6.75 out of 10. Hope that's going to go down well. Shall we discuss team news for this game against Benfica? Because we are still at that point where I'm kind of mixing and matching and trying different things out. First and foremost, I can't fill the bench with players because I don't have enough players registered. I have a couple of players injured as well. It just further limits our numbers. In terms of the starting 11, there's nothing too radically different to last time out. The one player who I have had to bring into the team is Fofana. He's been playing amazingly as of late. He's kind of earned a spot as a striker. That does mean that Jordan Sabatiu has dropped down to the bench. Now, I've heard a few things in the comment section about this guy. Apparently, in the last 3 seasons, he's changed what he wants to be called by multiple times, to the point where Jordan is his shirt name in game, so I'm just going to call him Jordan. Not like Katie Price Jordan, but you know what? I forget. We have an international audience. Don't search Katie Price, especially if you're at work. You've been warned. Elsewhere in the team, I've not been wowed by our defensive setup just yet. Kempf as centre-back has been fine, but at the same time, there's a few other players that I feel like we deserve to give a chance to, and I feel like Diogo Leite here, Portuguese under-21 international, formerly of Porto, he's an enemy of Benfica. Surely it's in his blood to do a good performance here back in Portugal. That's certainly what we're going to hope for from him. He is a very good little centre-back, someone who I was aiming to give some first-team football to anyway. This feels like a rather good time to do it. There's a few areas of the pitch where if I had better backups, I probably would be looking to drop players. Juranovic has not impressed me so far. The 28-year-old, he's been solid defensively, but going forward, he's not been particularly great. I mean, his average rating in the league is a 6.85. That is cause for concern early on. Whilst we do have Christopher Tramell, who is the club captain, he's not really a player whose polygon you look at and go, wing back. I think that might be because he has 9 pace. This guy's legs have completely gone. It is the last year of his contract. If I'm playing this guy at right back at any point, things have gone wrong this season. In the midfield, not a lot changing here. Alex Scott still in the centre of the midfield. You might remember, discussed it last episode, promised I'd play him as a centre attacking mid. I am currently breaking that promise. If our form doesn't pick up soon, though, I think we do have to try him in a slightly more advanced area. Worth noting, he has been performing rather well, and in fact, he is now listed as our key player on the club overview screen. Over on the bench, we have got some options here. In the defensive third, one player who I've not talked about yet is Paul Yarkel. This guy, 25 years old, solid, okay player. Nothing too exciting, but if our defensive woes continue, he might find himself getting a run in at centre-back to see if he's worth maybe sticking in the first team. One of only a few players we have at centre-back who is right-footed. If Juranovic doesn't step up, I think Mehmet Aydin here is the man who I'd look to bring in. The 21-year-old we picked up from Schalke. He's a good little versatile right-back option, probably our second-choice right-back. What he lacks against Tramell in terms of mentals, I think he makes up for in just his raw physicals, and given the fact he is 15 years younger, Mehmet is certainly going to be a longer-term player for us. And I feel like at this point here at Union Berlin, we have to acknowledge it. We are kind of planning for a long-term plan here. Rome wasn't built in a day. Berlin wasn't made into a German powerhouse of a city in a day either, it turns out. In the final third, we have, of course, got Jordan. We also have Brendan Aronson, who I didn't talk about last episode, but in real life, he's joined Union Berlin from Leeds United on loan for the year, hence the fact we have him here. He's a very good player who doesn't necessarily fit our system perfectly, but a player who, if we continue to struggle, could offer some attacking spark, and a player who don't be surprised to see playing sooner rather than later. I say that, he has started 2 of our 4 league games. Anyway, that is the team for this game. Let's get into this one. Fofana has been the standout player in the final third. I need Ngangam to have a few better performances. Some of you guys are telling me in the comment section that he actually was linked with Union Berlin in real life and basically said, I'm never going to play for them, and turned down Union Berlin, opted to leave Hertha to go to a different club. For us, he is probably our best striking option. I say that. He's not yet scored in the Bundesliga. If he scores today, maybe I'm going to start believing in him. When you look at this Benfica team, they've got Di Maria, of course, playing for them now. That is a far more recognisable set of players than my squad, I feel like, in a more continental football sense. Union Berlin, not exactly a team synonymous with European football, but we're here, we're on the big stage, away from home. I'm going to hope that I'm not going to be punished for the mean words I said about the Benfica stadium, because I kind of need some results sooner rather than later. Even a draw here would be kind of nice. Corner here. Di Maria over the ball. 7 minutes in. Benfica looking towards the back post. Headed away by Hans. Roussillon going down to close down the angle. Di Maria pulls the trigger. Gets in the air towards Ramos. But we get it away from danger initially. Rafa, though, the tricky winger, the Portuguese player, cuts inside. Had he scored that, it would have been one of the best goals I've seen this year. Fortunately for us, it's gone just over. Rono with the ball here at the back. One thing I didn't mention earlier, I am still tinkering around with the tactical system. Last episode, we started things off sitting deep. I am now looking to press a little bit more. We have a slightly higher defensive line. I found that when we were sitting deep, we were just inviting too much pressure on, especially away from home in the Champions League. I feel like you've got to be proactive rather than reactive defensively. And I'm going to hope that is going to bear some fruit here and see us get a good little performance. Early on, we've had a lot of the ball, but unfortunately, it's been Benfica with all the highlights, and they have another one here. Ramos is through. Ramos has scored. 20 minutes in, goal down. Not ideal. To be fair, this was rather nicely worked by Benfica. On the flip side, given the fact we have so many players in the middle of the pitch, to see them just pass through the middle of the team, it's a little bit frustrating to see. Di Maria's set piece, that fills me with dread every time I see it, and it should fill me with dread. Antonio Silva has scored. I mean, it turns out Benfica are a good football team. Who would have thought? I am slightly annoyed it's Di Maria, of all players, doing this to me. I mean, he's no spring chicken, is he? I know he's gone to them in real life, and he's probably still quite good in Football Manager. I mean, yeah, he's still very good in Football Manager. Doesn't make it any less annoying. He's just a set-piece merchant. I'm not bitter. 2 goals down away from home in the Champions League against Benfica. The match momentum is not a pretty story, is it? That's a lot of red going upwards here. It could have gone worse. Rono's made, I think, what was a good save. The shot might not have been on target there. Maybe that was a save for the cameras. I digress. We are not in a particularly good spot here. Benfica are causing us all kinds of issues. Maybe predictable away from home. I feel like the home versus away advantage, especially in European games, is kind of significant in Football Manager in more recent years. So far in this game, we have been cut open, and with Forsby passing the ball like that, we're going to continue to be cut open. This is awful. This is painful. Di Maria switching it wide. Where are we defensively? What are we doing? Why are we here? My brain is melting. I can't get my words out, and now David Neres scores. It's 3-0. I didn't care about the Champions League anyway. This is fine. Say it with me. This game doesn't matter. The Copenhagen games matter. You might be sat thinking, Jack, why have you come back for this game then? Because I thought we might be able to pull off a miracle, but clearly I was wrong. I don't want to say it too soon. Is it too soon to say this tactic's not working? I mean, we are away against Benfica. Do we go to more attacking? I mean, inspirational tactic here. Union, 4-3-3, need a goal. I don't think that's what we need right now. Or we go to something slightly more conventional. Maybe conventional's what's needed. Right, Aronson's going to come and play out on the right-hand side. Alex Scott is going to play as an advanced playmaker in the middle. Fofana's going to go out and play on the left, cutting in on his right foot. That's a role that he can do. And Gankam is going to play up top. I feel like in a game like this, where we're 3 goals down, we might as well just use it as a chance to experiment, try one of our other systems, and just see how it works. You know, this is a free hit for 45 minutes to see, have we actually got the tactics wrong? Is there other ways that we can set up and do well? As much as we don't have loads of wide players, we have got enough players to make it work in situations like this. On the one hand, I'm annoyed at how this series has started. On the other hand, I feel like it's nice to be challenged by Football Manager. It's nice to feel on the back foot. It's nice to feel slightly worried about what's happening because I feel like we got rather comfortable in our most recent save game. This is anything but comfortable. I've never had ants in my pants, but I imagine it feels something like this. Benfica looking to play the ball out from the back. Rafa to Neres. I mean, they've got David Neres, and they've also got Ramos in the final third, with Rafa and Di Maria either side. That is a ridiculous attacking setup taking on our team. It just doesn't feel fair. It's two very different leagues of squads. Hopefully in years to come we will be able to compete, but based on what I'm seeing here, we are anything but competitive. They could have scored another. It's away from... I can't look. I don't want to watch anymore. And Gankam has now picked up a knock. I mean, the one thing I don't want now is injuries. Jordan, on you come. Florian Flick, on you come. Aiden, you might as well have some minutes, son. Is there anyone else who I just want to give game time to? I'm not sure there is right now. I mean, it's still 0-0 for the second half. If we're trying to find a positive, not conceded a goal in the second half. Whether or not Benfica have just taken the day off now, knowing they're 3 goals up, that could be a factor. But nevertheless, we haven't been completely dominated here. If we get a consolation, suddenly it looks respectable. Jordan could have had his first goal for the club, at least during my tenure. Instead, he's kicked it straight at the goalkeeper. But I say that he's on the ball again. Jordan might be the hero. Maybe just, playing him as a lone forward is the play. Flick, that's not the ball, is it? Aronson gets mugged for possession. Louise, though, is cut out, and now Flick has it. Datro Fofana. Jordan, is this his moment? It is his moment. It's 1-0 in the second half. We'll take that. Florentino Luis caught out with the ball. Flick won it, and then he flicked it onto Datro Fofana. He's played it to Jordan. He hits it goalwards. We're winning the second half 1-0. I know it means absolutely nothing. Let me have it, please. I'm desperate for a small win. I mean, we've got a free kick here with 3 minutes left. Fofana's over it. If it gets to 3-2, I start to believe. I start to wonder. Fofana, what can you do for us here, son? He's over it. He hits it. He scores it. We have 3 minutes to get a goal. I feel like I should be going more attacking or something. Right, Alex Scott, go forward. Hit early crosses. Pass into space. Just get the ball forward. And none of this throwing it long either. Distribute quickly over the top. We need 1 goal. We've got 3 minutes. I've made all these changes. You've played Football Manager. You know there's not another highlight for the rest of the game. To be fair, it's a good free kick, right? Great free kick. 3-2, 3 minutes. Can anything happen? No. Nothing can happen. 3-2 here it finishes. I mean, on the one hand, it looks slightly respectable. I will say now, we had a flurry of chances late on. When we did change the system, though, things did get a little bit better. So maybe I should be trying the 4-3-3 if I decide that this narrow system isn't working for us. Fofana, man of the match again, by the way. It's really frustrating that he's one of our best players, and yet we've got him on loan from Chelsea. So he probably won't be with us next season. 3-2 seems like a really respectable result, and I suppose it was, although 2 goals coming in the last 5 minutes means I don't think we can take a whole lot of stock from it, but nevertheless, we are still getting goals. If we can perform like that against Benfica, I'm sure we're going to be fine in the Bundesliga. And Gankam is out for 1 to 3 days. Very glad that's not a more serious injury because we're not exactly blessed with striking options. And at the moment, I am rather conscious of how reliant we are on Fofana and Alex Scott for attacking output. Doesn't feel particularly sustainable. In terms of when we're going to be back next time, I'm very tempted to go through and play a load of Football Manager and just have a good old binge session. Try and figure out some stuff tactically, work out what my best 11 is, maybe give some first team opportunities to players that haven't had it just yet. Looking at the upcoming games, you can see them all here. Yes, there's Real Madrid. No, I don't want to come back and watch us play Real Madrid, especially after what Benfica did to us in that first half. It's a slow start here at Union Berlin, but we're not going to panic just yet. It's still very, very early days. I think we can turn it around. Some very winnable games on the horizon mean that hopefully when I come back next time, we're not 15th in the league. If we're still in 15th, then panic. I mean, look, we've got the same amount of points as Dortmund. Everything's fine. Like I mentioned last episode, on these early episodes of this series, any interaction you do as a viewer helps out massively. Be that a comment, be that a like. So get down below the video, show some love if you got to the end of it. And on top of that, just a little reminder, you can hit the notification bell to be reminded of uploads. I am very conscious of the fact that in the early days of a YouTube series, YouTube loves to recommend the videos. And then one day, these videos will no longer appear on your home screen and you'll forget about my existence, which on the one hand, I'm hurt. On the other hand, I do kind of understand. By hitting that notification bell, you just get a daily reminder that Football Manager does still exist. I'm still here making videos. Anyway, folks, we are going to wrap things up there for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for getting to the end of the video. If you are still here and watching, I salute you. We'll be back tomorrow with more action. Until then, it's me, Jack, and I'll see you all again on the next one. I'm out.